Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Corbin, and I just want to talk to y'all about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac, a blast from everyone's past. And let me tell y'all, it really was a blast from everyone's past because the way they was throwing exes back and forth, left and right, like they were playing a game of tennis. But this is what kind of tennis it was. We got the rest of the housewives. They're just your average suburban women, who play casually, and then we got Karen, Miss Serena Williams over here, who's playing against these average suburban women, like she playing in the cup, and she just not showing no mercy, just like bow. Child, Karen was swinging these girls every which way but loose, and I am here for it. Look, I know what Karen did was very irresponsible. You should not be drinking and driving under any circumstances. But let's be real, y'all. If I had a DUI and I came on reality TV and I knew, oh no, this is gonna be my season. These girls are gonna try to get me. I'm handling it the same way. I'm dragging everybody before they even get a chance to touch me. So I don't blame Karen for it. Not one bit. It's irresponsible. And yeah, we all want her to take some accountability. Come on, y'all. We know Karen at this point. She's not going to do it. But like I said, on the flip side of it, had it been me and I'm in the hot seat, I'm going out swinging too. I don't care. But the episode picks up where it left off last week. Just like I said, there was no need for it to be continued. Because what happened? Mia brings up this whole thing with Karen butt dialing her. Karen deflects. Karen says, no, y'all are some liars. And then we move on. And it's like, come on, y'all. Like, why will we expect anything else? This is why if y'all come in at Karen, one, y'all need to have proof because every time we come up with some relationship crap about Karen, she's doing this in the bathroom. She's doing this with Blue Eye. She's doing this. Like, nobody ever has any proof. Robin had that one little receipt which fell flat because we didn't even get to really see it. But it's like nobody ever really has proof. So it's like if y'all are going to come at her, y'all need to really come at her. But the other issue is this. These girls are not fast enough for Karen. The entire reason Mia brought this up was because Karen had dragged Jacqueline earlier on in the day and had Jacqueline crying. You telling me it took you 6, 7, 8 hours to come up with this, to come up with a rumor that we already know, that we've already heard about, that we don't care about either. At this point, everybody knows that Karen and Ray are probably in an open relationship. Ray is like 80 years older than Karen, and Karen already is no spring chicken. So like we know they're probably in an open relationship. Karen is doing what she got to do. It's just don't embarrass me on national TV. Respect our marriage. And that's what's happening. So it's like you're bringing up something nobody cares about and that everybody kind of already knows about behind the scenes. It's a flop. It's a chop. But I will say this. Mia did catch Karen slipping when Karen was like, oh no, the only reason I was, I butt dialed you or when I was talking was because I got in the car, I had a little bit too much to drink. I realized I shouldn't drive. So my driver had to come pick me up. And I'm like, oh girl, Karen, Karen, my deflection queen. You let Mia catch you slipping out of all people? Come on, girl. But this is the other part of it. These girls are not quick enough to take Karen on because when Karen said that, nobody said anything. Nobody piggybacked off of it. Not Ashley messy self, not Jacqueline's sad self, and not Mia's old stripping self. Like nobody picked up on it. Because as soon as she would have said that, I'd be like, oh, so you drank and drive before, huh? I'd have caught her ass right there. And then we would have just kept, it would have been, where's my, it would have been tennis, y'all. It would have been tennis. She would have came at me. She'd be like, "Yo, man, is this? I was drinking and driving, but Blue Eyes had to get me." Bing. Oh, so you was drinking and driving before, huh? She's like, "Oh, well, you this? Okay." Bing. Like these girls are not quick enough. I'll take Serena, not in real life, verbally, but not in real life, y'all. But yeah, nobody brought it up. Mia brought it up like 30, 45 minutes later, however long it was after they were all, she was sitting with Ashley and Jacqueline because it probably took her time to process it. But it's like these girls are not quick enough. But they get up, they all go their separate ways. Mia's talking to Jacqueline and Ashley, like I said, and she's like bragging. She's like, yeah, I just have to have my girls back. Don't come for my girl. Don't come for my girl. One, Mia, you treat Jacqueline like shit. That's supposed to be your friend. And it's one thing, you shouldn't dog your friend out at all, but for you to dog your friend out on national TV, I feel like that's even worse. So don't talk about defending your girl. Defending your girl should have been you not treating her like crap since she's been on this show the entire time. And it sucks because I actually had hopes for Jacqueline. When Jacqueline bought that little binder against Mia on the reunion, I'm like, oh, she's about to air out all of Mia's tea. Like, she's not a pushover. And then it's like, here we go a few years later. One, the binder fell flat because everybody's been trying to copy the season 5 binder incident. But it fell flat, and then here we go, years later, and you're still under this girl's wing. The other thing is this too: is I don't feel bad for Jacqueline because Jacqueline, you were messy, and you have started this whole thing. You brought it up at Karen's birthday. You brought it up again in the car on the way to Lake Norman, and then you've been talking cash, money, crap in your confession this entire time. So don't be sad that you're getting dragged, and then wait till the reunion when Karen sees all the stuff you're saying in your confession on top of that, and you can't walk away from a reunion. You're gonna get dragged even more. So it's like, girl, nobody feels bad about that. But Mia's bragging about that. And then she's like, oh, did you realize that Karen admitted that she drank and drive before? And I'm like, touche. Touche, you got her. 1 point for Mia. 800 for Karen, but 1 point for Mia. But then she's like, Karen's probably on the phone now talking to the bloggers like, what dirt do you got on Mia? And I'm like, girl, hindsight is 2020, okay? If you thought and you were joking, or even if it was a joke, something in your mind should have said, shit, Karen probably is doing that. Let me call who I gotta call and see what dirt I got and get some real receipts, okay? Because Karen probably was in that damn room. Did we even know she was on the couch? When all them girls were sitting on the couch on their phones, that's probably exactly who Karen was. Karen was like, Jacqueline did what? All right, let me pull up these police records on her man. Like, girl, Karen was getting ready for war. Okay, and you girls are playing two different types of battle. So, moving on, Stacy and TJ. Stacy FaceTimes TJ, and so I was looking down at my phone when Stacy FaceTimed him. So all I heard was, "Hey, princess." And when I heard that, I thought that was Stacy talking to her daughter, because usually when they go on these trips, they're talking to their husbands, they FaceTime their daughter. They usually do that, the first day when they're settling in. So I'm like, okay, Stacy's FaceTiming, her daughter. I look up and like the conversation's continuing. I'm like, oh no, that's TJ. And Cham, I'm gonna just say this. Their relationship is interesting, but I'm here for it because it's different. It's something we haven't seen on TV. So I'm going to speculate, and I'm going to keep speculating, but I'm going to take what you give me. I will say I did like the fact that when she was like, yeah, the girls have been asking about you, his approach to it was, well, have you been like doing what we said? Have you been talking to them about me? So I did like that. TJ is a nice guy. He okay. Something just off about the man, but he's a nice guy. I'm going to come from every chance I get, but he a nice guy. So at one point before Wendy's birthday, I get it confused because have we done anything for Wendy's birthday? Like, Mia's made this entire trip about her while trying to celebrate Wendy at the same time. But everyone's just sitting on the couch waiting for Wendy's birthday to approach. And Karen is like, why are we sitting around? And I agree with her. Like, I hate when these girls have dinner and then they just go to bed. And I feel like that's a reoccurring theme on Potomac. Like, they have dinner and they just go to bed. The other girls, they be going to the club sometimes. They just be in the house doing something random, getting drunk, skinny dipping in the pool. Like, I'm not asking you to do all of that, but do something. Damn. But yeah, they're just sitting around. And honestly, it doesn't surprise me because this was one of the best episodes of Potomac in probably the last 2 or 3 years. Trying to think when. But this is probably one of the best episodes of Potomac. But the trip was low budget. Let's be real. The trip was really low budget. We got Mia's friend's kids, who are the concierge. We got Mia's friend, who had to set up the dinner for them. We got all the girls scrunched up on a Titanic door, floating across a little lake. Knees is touching. Jewelry is scratching each other because they bumping into each other sitting so close. And then you have a plan for us to go to the joint chiropractor to get our neck stretched by a stripper. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And then, like I said, it's Wendy's birthday. We haven't done anything for Wendy's birthday. We just decorated her room and we stayed up with her and twerked, which that was a good moment. I did appreciate it. It felt like a good homegirl moment because as much as I love the drama, I like seeing the girls have fun too. But what else are we doing for her birthday? You had a whole birthday dinner for her where y'all talked about you. And you had all your friends talking about you. What are we doing for Wendy's birthday, girl? But Wendy, Mia, look, I'm getting them mixed up. Mia has a tendency to do poorly planned trips. Now, nothing is going to be as worse as the Austin trip, which we're never going to bring up last season. No more. But the Miami trip was trash. Remember, you're in Miami and them girls was on that little dinghy boat, drinking. I'm like, girl, it's Miami. Even regular people can afford to rent a yacht for an hour or two. Like, come on. And so it doesn't surprise me. It does not surprise me at all. But Wendy's birthday comes in, midnight approaches. They're twerking and dancing. It's a very cute moment. Wendy makes a speech, and I will say this. Wendy is probably one of the most accomplished housewives on the show, and I love that for her. The degrees, the family, the children, the beauty, like she has it all. And I'm like, damn, I got 9 years before I'm 40, and I probably gotten like a third of the things done that Wendy has gotten done. So kudos to you, Wendy. I will hand that to you. Kudos to you, girl. Kudos to you. So we get to the next day. Mia and Jacqueline are talking by the pool, and they're talking a little bit about, Jacqueline's situation. Jacqueline's like, okay, like, we're not here doing a scene for that. We're here. Mia's like, we're doing a scene for me. Okay, so let's talk about me and G real quick. And I'm just like, girl, my thing is this. At the end of the day, both of y'all are wrong. Both of y'all are, using these kids right now for a storyline, which is terrible. And it's just like, y'all knew what y'all were getting into when y'all married each other. Like, you knew that G was looking for, a little young thing. G, you knew that you were older and you were getting a young thing, and soon you were going to age out. Like, y'all knew these things. So it's just like, I have no sympathy for y'all. I am glad that Jacqueline did call her out too. The other thing is this, though, too, is Mia does enable G by, living, in the same building and stuff like that. And I had a feeling, like, I feel a little bad for G just because everything he has going on mentally with him being in a manic state and stuff like that. And it's like, I always knew, I could tell, because when they went on that first trip to the Chesapeake Bay, do they do any good trips? I said Austin, the Chesapeake Bay. I mean, Miami, but y'all, Miami's very local. These girls, what is with all these local trips? They went to the Chesapeake Bay, and that was that first season that Mia was on. The way G was acting, sticking his tongue out, flirting with Karen, doing the whole, doing all that craziness. I had a feeling, I was like, yeah, this man is off his rocker. So as soon as Mia announced that he was like, had depression, or he was like, had these like manic states and everything, I was like, oh yeah, that moment right there, I should have known. So I feel bad for G a little bit, to an extent, like when it comes to stuff like that, because some things you can't control, and like mental health is one of those things it's very difficult to get a grip on. So I feel bad for him there. Everything else, though, no. You married a young stripper while you were married. Do not feel bad for you. This is what happened. So moving on. Giselle's kids cap and gown ceremony. I'm just going to say this. Say what you want about Jamal, but Jamal he ain't present. Like, he's not there every day because he's in another state, but Jamal shows up for his kids when he needs to. Compared to a lot of dads out there, Jamal shows a lot of reality TV, trash husbands too. Jamal ain't the best, but he definitely shows up for those kids. Giselle and Jamal, they have that co-parenting down to a T. Okay. And it's no secret that Giselle is a great mom. Giselle is probably one of and it's not a competition, because I feel like there's no real bad moms. There's no bad moms on Housewives. I think all the Housewives are good moms, but Giselle, I feel like, is one of like the best moms. I'm going to give her that. She is one of the best moms. And it's just crazy how we've watched those girls grow up. It feels, damn, we're getting old, y'all. We're getting old. We really watched those girls grow up. Insane. All right, so the girls are having breakfast. Ashley asks Wendy, is there anything that you have on your bucket list? And Wendy's like, I want to go skydiving. And Ashley's like, oh, I've been skydiving before, me and Michael did. And then she didn't say that. She was like, we had sex afterwards, in her confession. I'm like, girl, one, we don't want to picture y'all having sex. I don't even want to picture him skydiving and his flappy skin and balls just flapping through the air while he's coming down. Like, we don't want to picture any of that. We don't want to picture him. We don't want to picture you. Get off of our cameras, Ashley. Get off of our TV screens. Get out of here. But it is, at least we dealing with her. You know what? Say what y'all want about Ashley, but I would rather her just like fade into existence like she's doing now. And then we're like, oh, Ashley's boring, get her off the show. But at least we don't gotta deal with her. So let's take what we can get, y'all. Mia talks about the stripper chiropractor, and my whole thing is, girl, can you even, like, y'all got kicked out the business, so should you even be showing up to this business with your girls on camera doing all this stuff? One, should you even have hired the stripper to be a chiropractor is my thing too, because they're gonna find this out and be like, oh girl, this is what you've been doing. They're gonna see this on camera and be like, oh, we gotta overhaul these businesses because Mia been hiring strippers, she got her homegirls in there. Like, you're doing too much, Mia. Giselle ends up FaceTiming Wendy, and she's like singing and dancing and singing happy birthday. And say what y'all want, whether it's forced or not, I appreciate the effort. And I think that Giselle is actually trying. And it's like, for the people who saying, oh, this is so fake, this is so fake. So what do y'all want? For us to go back to what it was before? No, I'll take this. I'll take it. I'll take 2 of them, please. Give me 14 of them. Give me an unlimited amount of them. I will take what Giselle is serving right now because at least she's giving us something. She's giving us more than Ashley. So the breakfast continues, and it's funny because the producers, they're so shady. I feel like every time Karen gets offered a drink, they have that camera right on her. They ask her if she wants a drink. She don't take one. And so Karen is talking. She's like, we've come a long way following that FaceTime call. Wendy is pretty much like, this is how I want my 40s to be, like good vibes, positive energy. And Jacqueline's like, yes. And like being able to forgive and move on, because if you don't, it's going to make you bitter and nasty. And so Mia's like a bitter old bitch. Stacy, I love Stacy, y'all. Stacy has grown on me so much because one, she is authentic to who she is, and like she gets just the right amount of involved. She's like, "Are you talking about Karen?" And Ashley's like, "Yeah, Jacqueline, are you talking about Karen?" And Jacqueline's like, "No, I'm just making a generalization." Jacqueline and Ashley, both y'all need to get off our cameras. That stray was for no reason for Ashley. I'm sorry, Ashley. You still need to go, but no. Jacqueline, like, stand on it. This is your problem, Jacqueline. You are such a flop. Like, you're not quick. You can't stand on anything. You cry. You have nothing to contribute. What are you here for? Like, girl, bye. So Kay comes in, she jumps in and she's like, all right, y'all, like give Karen a break. Like y'all have just been coming for her. And she's like, Mia, like really with the 3-year OT, like, is that all you got? And Mia's like, girl, this is boot camp. Didn't you know? Karen did it to me. Now it's your turn. You need to earn your flute. And I'm like, one, Mia, I hope you feel stupid. You probably do feel stupid because at the time you were feeling yourself and you thought you were that girl and you didn't realize that, hey, Kay has one. And now look at you, looking silly. Two, I hate because even when Nene was like, oh, we're going to turn your plum into a peach and stuff like that. I hate when girls bring up being casted on the show. Like, I'm okay with the fourth wall getting broken, but not like that. I hate when they call out like being casted on the show because then I just feel like it's tacky. It takes away from like things. Like I hate when that happens. So I was just like, Mia, girl, bye on that one. So Kay is pretty much like, I don't need a flute. But you know what? You clearly needed one because that 3-way or that love triangle you got going on, she was like, that was very interesting. And then Mia comes back and she's like, you want to talk about your drug dealer boyfriend? And so Kay, she's like, who's a drug dealer boyfriend? She thought they was talking about her current man. She was like, she didn't deny though that her past one was. And you know what? Hey, you got to get it where you can, okay? Like, you can't help who you like. She probably, and Kay looked like she probably, like, Kay has that very soft-spoken voice, but something in her gives me, she loved the bad boys. So she was just like, yeah, you want to talk about, your drug dealing boyfriend? And so Kay is like, look, my man is a clinical social worker and good for him. That man is running a business. He got a real job. Good for him. And Kay got a real job too. Like she said, what did she say a few episodes ago? She said, I'm helping my man out, which is stupid because my business runs itself. And that is a real businesswoman. Them housewives who be in there moving things around in the shelves in their business and walking around acting like they're managing something. No. If you are a real business owner, once you get your shit up and running, you go home. I mean, there's other shit you do, but you're more so behind the scenes. You're not running around the store, stocking shit, moving around bottles and stuff like that. Like, I hate when people do that because I'm just like, no real business owner does that. They got people for that. Their shit should be self-sustainable. So, but yeah, she's like, my man is a clinical, social worker or whatever. Like, he is not no drug dealer. And she was like, you need to worry about your past. And me, I was like, I own being a stripper. So, what are you saying? Stacy's confessional. She's like, they're just throwing back and forth these accusations, and I don't know what's true. She was like, oh, Mia is a stripper? Well, okay. Like, Stacy is perfect. And I'm probably going to say that until I'm blue in the face. I don't give a fuck. I love Stacy, y'all. So, excuse me. But Kay's like, well, yeah, like being a stripper, that's just the street as it gets. And then Mia comes back and she's like, well, you would know about the street stitches. And then y'all, I mean, all hell was already breaking loose, but this is where it really broke loose. So Ashley, she's like, my face is glass. Cool. Ashley asks, she's like, oh, well, do you have a scar? And Kay loses it and she freaks out. And so this is kind of where Kay lost me because it's like, girl, like you need to be quick. You were getting Mia together. She was hanging in there. She was getting Mia together. And honestly, like Mia was pushing along too. And I'm like, look, this is how you girls need to go like Karen. Like y'all need to be able to go back and forth. Y'all need to be quicker. But the problem is they can't go for a long time either because Karen will go. But Kay gets upset. She's like, don't talk about my scar, Ash. She's like, I was just asking because you have a makeup line. Girl, bye. It was messy, but you know what? I'll allow it. But she freaks out and she's like storms off and she's like upset. And I'm like, no, like you should have kept reading Mia. You should have read Ashley. Like you get in the kitchen and you're talking to the girls and you're like, yeah, like I can't believe some girl who like she got rocks thrown at her face is talking about me. Cute read, but you should have used that to her face in front of the girls at the table. This is what I'm talking about. You girls are not quick enough. None of the girls are. Like that should have been a right then to your face read. Not we're gonna go talk about this later. So she gets up, she storms off. She eventually makes her way back to the table. And so she's like, Ashley, like, do not bring up my scar. Like anybody else, these other girls can come for me, but when it comes to you, it is off limits for you. My other thing is this with that whole situation. I know I just said earlier in this review I wasn't going to go back to last season, but I'm just going to say this. I'm glad Deborah got her ass whooped. Okay, I'm not a man of violence, but I'm glad she got her ass whooped. If anybody needed their ass whooped, it's been her. But at the same time, Kay, you didn't have to get involved. Granted, you were kind of like right in between them, but I'm not fighting and I'm not getting glass broken on me and my face messed up for some bitch I don't know that well. I don't know Kay and Candace's relationship that well, but like I have to be, if I'm fighting for you, like physically fighting for you, I need to have known you for like years. And I mean years. I mean 5+ like years. Like all of my friends that I'm going to war for, I've known them for a very long time. I'm not fighting for some bitch I just met on a reality TV show that I may have known for 2 or 3 years at that, or I may have seen in passing over the years. Because you going to the same social events and stuff like that, that don't count. But I'm just like, I understand you were kind of in between them and you were in a space and things were happening so quickly, but Wendy, the rest of them girls were in between y'all two. They all backed out of it. You should just backed out of it and let them have at it. You didn't have to get in this situation. But I'm glad you whooped her ass still. Just saying. So Stacy's just like, Mia, like, can we just regroup and we need to just keep like this positive energy? And so Jacqueline, she tries to get involved and she's like, oh, we shouldn't be bringing up the past and stuff like that. And Kate turned to her and was like, are you okay? Are you paying attention? And I'm glad Wendy jumped in too. I will say this. I was wondering like what Wendy was going to contribute to the season, especially after the car conversation, because she's not beefing with anybody, which I'm glad. I'm glad that she's not in any crazy toxic beefs. I hope Wendy stays in this role where the girls are going at it and she's just that objective person calling things out. If she stays in this role right here, I'd be okay with it. The only way I want Wendy to really get into it is if Wendy comes for Karen, because I feel like a Wendy and Karen argument, a sit down with them just going at it, and I know they're going to have a sit down later on in the season, but I don't think they're going to go at it. That would be amazing. But I hope Wendy just stays in this capacity right here. So Karen's turn. Ding, ding, ding. Tag me in. I wish I had boxing gloves because that boxing glove confessional had me so weak. I love Karen, and Karen's right. She said, "I'm always gonna come out swinging. These bitches cannot touch her." Okay, Karen's like, "Ding ding ding, tag me in." So Jacqueline, what's going on with PPE? She's like, "Oh, we're co-parenting, we're doing good and stuff like that." So you standing by him with them 25 convictions? I can't even get it out. Everyone's like, oh, you just hear everyone like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh." And Jacqueline, she is stuck. Okay, she is stuck. Sorry, y'all. It was funny. And this is another thing is like, I talked about Mia dogging Jacqueline earlier. Mia gets into the confessional. She's like, "Yeah, Jacqueline has stood by this man, even though he's dogged her out and stuff like that. Like, you're dogging Jacqueline's man, and this is supposed to be your friend, and you're doing it behind her back, too, because you can't do it to her face." At least Jacqueline, when she disagrees with something, like the whole thing with G moving into the same building, like, she said it to Mia. She's like, "I agree. Like, I feel like you shouldn't have him so close. Mia, you fake. But what's new?" So, and I bet you this too. I bet you Mia is the one that told Karen all this information. I don't think this was something Karen had to look up. Mia has probably aired out all of Jacqueline's tea to Karen when Mia and Karen were close, for a fact. So Karen's just dragging Jacqueline. Okay. And at this point, I'm just like, I just feel bad at this point. I'm like, can somebody pick the girl up, give her some water, put her in an ambulance, take her to the hospital? We need to get her out of here. Like, Karen is just dragging her. And so the girls, Mia is like trying to defend her, and like they're going back and forth, like, "Don't bring this up. I can't believe you're bringing up somebody that's not here." And I am so glad that Wendy and Stacy were calling these girls out. It's like, it's cool when you do it, but it's not okay when they do it. I'm glad they were calling them out. That boxing glove confessional. Karen's really dragging these girls, okay? She had Mia crying at her birthday dinner. She had Ashley fighting for her feet at Stacy's house. She had Jacqueline crying at lunch. Jacqueline was almost in tears here. She was rubbing her eyes. She had to get up and move around the table and sit away from Karen. Was like, "I could sit right next to you and get you together, girl." Karen is getting these girls together. And like I said before, and I'm going to say 800 times till I turn blue in the face, Wendy is the only one who can take her. These other girls, like Ashley will come at her. I'll give that to Ashley. Ashley will come at her. Giselle will come at her. Mia will come at her. Like, the girls will come at her, but it's like they have to do it in ways. Versus Wendy, she can do it off the cuff. Like, she wouldn't have to prepare herself for anything. But like I said, I appreciate Mia for trying though. Mia been getting on my nerves. Mia is a messy heifer, but I appreciate her for trying, because right now this is supposed to be Karen's season and nobody is coming at her except for her. Everyone else is doing it in the confessional. Giselle been bringing up her charges in the confessional left and right. Ashley's talking about saying her confessional left and right, but no one's really taking it to her. So Mia, I'll give it to you. Because if Mia wasn't doing it, what else will we have this season, y'all? Exactly. So the girls leave breakfast, and that's the crazy part of it. You know what I'm just realizing? Like, we didn't even leave the house yet. This is a good trip. They haven't done anything, but the drama is on point. Like, we didn't even get out the house yet. I can't imagine just waking up and these bitches is going at it already. I'll be drunk with a few mimosas. But the girls separate, and so Mia, Jacqueline, and Ashley are in the room talking shit. It's primarily Mia and Jacqueline. This is what I'm talking about, Jacqueline. Like, you want to be with the girls, but when it's time to jump into the fire, you screaming and crying. Like, you need to be ready for it, okay? Like, when the kitchen get hot, girl, and them flames are shooting up to the ceiling, girl, you need to just deal with it. You need to get your little saute skillet and just keep going. Don't start crying. This ain't what we here for. But they start talking. Mia pulls up the chargers and she shows it on camera, and I'm like, oh Lord. She starts swiping it on the camera. I forgot. Stacy walks in. Then Mia pulls it out, starts swiping it on camera. She's like, is this what you're supporting, Stacy? And Stacy is shocked. And this is another thing I love about Stacy. Not the 800 things. I need to scroll. But Stacy is shocked. And Stacy is shocked because Stacy has not watched the show. I said this before. You can tell Stacy has not watched the show. She's not into the game of reality TV, so this is authentic. These bitches been fighting back and forth. And mind you now, from the DUI to when they started filming, not that much time had passed. So I'm sure Stacy is not checking the Real Housewives of Potomac blogs or anything like that. Like, she just living her life, thinking about her divorce and moving. So she gets here. These girls are going at it over all this stuff. She don't really know what's going on. She just knows that Karen probably had like an incident or an accident or whatever. And then Stacy's hanging out with Karen. Like I said, Karen is in Stacy's ear. So I'm pretty sure Karen has just been feeding Stacy all this stuff, but leaving out what, really happened, all the charges and stuff. So Mia's showing her, and Stacy's like, oh my gosh. And then Mia is like, Karen needs to go to rehab. And I was like, oh, Mia, you are going down a road that y'all will not be able to come back from. And when Karen starts tearing into you, I don't want to hear anything. Like, she already made you cry the first episode. What do you think she's going to do to you with this? Child. And even Ashley, like Ashley backed out of it, was like, oh no, I'm not taking no parts of it, because even Ashley knows. And Ashley made a good point too. She was like, look, at some point we've all been, and she knows out of all people, but at some point we've all been in a hot seat on the show. And at some point we've all wanted to, like, we all wanted the group to let up on us. And so this is kind of why we've been letting up on Karen, but it's like Mia and Jacqueline are not letting up on Karen. And I was like, fair enough, Ashley. I get that, fair enough, because that's how these shows work. It's like every season somebody's in a hot seat, and it's like you're wishing that somebody, they would let up on you. So now that you see it happening, you're like, all right, like, let me let up on this person. I know how it feels. And the difference between Mia is and the rest of the girls is Mia don't give a shit. Mia don't give a shit because she don't even care if she's in a hot seat. She don't care if all her tea is out. She's already embarrassing herself on TV. So she has no wherewithal to think like that. And so I'll give Ashley some points for thinking like that. But Ashley backs out of it. She's like, oh no, I'm taking no parts in this. Stacy walks out to Karen and she's like, Karen, the conversation I just had was so disgusting. I can't believe it. I'm so offended. Karen was like, girl, what's going on? She was like, I went in there to defend you, and they were just talking about you. And Mia pulled up the charges, and Karen's like, it's online, it's whatever. And I'm surprised right there she hadn't already. She's probably internally like, I'm gonna kill this bitch. But externally, she's like, it's okay. Like, it's all online, whatever. And she's like, well, the thing is this. Is Mia said you need to go to rehab. So I want to know, are you okay? And then we got the to be continued. And here we go again. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this every time they do it. We don't need a to be continued. I'm tired of this. We get a to be continued, and then Bravo goes on to, YouTube or wherever they want to upload it at. And they usually upload the first 7 minutes of the next episode anyway. Or we get a to be continued, and then let's say we don't see it. We get there, and it's like, oh, this is it. Like, just end the episode and give us a preview for next week. Or don't give us one. I don't give a shit. But stop giving us a to be continued like something crazy is going to happen, and then it just be predictable. But minus that, this has been a good episode, y'all. I cannot wait to see how Karen reacts to this. I will say this. I'm kind of okay with it to be continued here because the shit that Mia just said, I'm like, oh, Karen's gonna, like, when Ashley is backing out of it, it's bad. Ashley's like, I don't want no parts in it. Karen gonna drag y'all? No. So I can't wait. I'm excited about it, but let me know how you guys feel about it. Bye, y'all.